What is up, traders, and welcome back to Uplift Markets. Today, as you guys know, it is July 3rd and we are trading the overall markets. We have had a very nice setup here today. The overall markets are positive with the overall little bit of a reduced session today that we have for July 3rd, and tomorrow the markets are closed. As we know, it's Independence Day, July 4th, and overall we just take a little look at the triple Qs. It's been absolutely bullish. Intense upper momentum. We're actually pretty positive on the day here. As you guys can see, based on the Nasdaq volume gain, it's actually up 1.4% today, signifying the strong bullish momentum that we have been seeing. As you guys can see, we're well above the 50, well above the VWAP, and we've been holding the 9 EMA quite well. And as we know, it's a very nice trend indicator. Here, the 9 EMA has been showing that upward momentum. We haven't, closed below it at all. We actually know when we pull back, we fall to the 9 EMA, and that shows pretty much how strong the trend has been towards the upside. So I like this nice break here on the triple Qs. Obviously, this could be played through options or here through equity. Very strong. The market still keeps showing that resilience on the daily as well. It's looking absolutely amazing. We've broken all-time highs here on the overall market, and it's quite nice to see that momentum now, shifting, right? And continue to see that momentum. Showing that resilience. Not bad. Yes, something I'd like to, reiterate here is the overall on the volume gainers, right? We have Lucid coming in first with 154 million shares already traded. Nvidia coming in second, which is very nice to see. We have the small cap LIXT. Actually kind of failed to break the pre-market high, and we had that downward move. Now broke the pre-market support, and although it's finding a lot of support here at the 50 EMA, right? So generally, like we always like to say, we tend to give the benefit of the doubt to the buyers because they are in control of the trend. Hood surprisingly is also down on the day. Broke the pre-market low here, 95 break. Pretty much it's down on the day because OpenAI, Sam Altman came in yesterday and explained that pretty much the tokenized products that Robinhood unveiled in their To Catch a Token event aren't considered at all any type of equity stake in the company at all. They don't consider it, and also this is pretty much negative news because if Sam Altman, right, the company OpenAI, is not acknowledging it, then it pretty much lowers the value of the tokenized share. So pretty much it's like, what was the point of having that investment for the public, being able to invest right in the public overall private market? So it's kind of a little bit of a warning sign here. So that's why I believe strongly that we've seen this decline here at Robinhood, down 4% on the day, giving back. It found resistance at $100. It's been having a hard time getting above 100. If you guys, taking look, for example, yesterday, every time we try to get above 100, we come to 100 and we just fail, right? Because like I said, it's a very important area and a very pretty much psychological level where a lot of individuals look to take profits off, especially after an intense, nice run that it's been having on the overall daily chart. Another name that I'm looking out for here, if this does increase, is going to be Webull. I think that name has a play. I believe it's a long at $18. It's an absolutely amazing play. I mean, if we look at Webull here on the 5 minute, obviously it's down on the day, but if you look at the daily, we're finally starting to see that curl, right? The upper momentum. If I take these pivot points off, so using our analysis here, right, and pretty much this purple line that you guys are seeing is the anchored from the IPO. So Webull, as we know, IPO'd on April 7th, 2025, and we've been acting as resistance for quite a while. We've been, the price action has been below this overall purple line for quite a while, signifying that the sellers are still in control of the trend. But I believe if we have a break firmly above that swing high, pretty much, or IPO anchored VWAP at $19 or $20 break, that would signify a long position for Webull towards price targets here. We firmly are bullish on this towards $33 and even towards $52 on Webull. We firmly believe in this name, and we're seeing only the increased momentum in Robinhood, so it's natural to think that we may see some type of momentum increase as well towards a bullish side here on Webull based off what pretty much Robinhood has done. So I'm really bullish on this name, and I'll probably do a deeper analysis. Feel free to leave down a like or a comment if you guys want me to evaluate Webull a little bit deeper and go through the fundamentals, present a full bullish case. I'd be gladly oblige towards that recommendation. Let's look at the overall trades of the day. So going to the overall Uplift Markets newsletter here, we have the overall rundown, July 3rd. Amazon was our top number one choice, as we had a nice price target increase to 250, and by Truist Capital raising it to a buy, right? So, and honestly, this is one of my longest holdings on my long-term account there. I'm looking really bullish. So we had some overall economic data that came in really important here. So we have this nice table here that you guys get every single day before the market opens, where we give important economic numbers. We give pretty much the numbers, the actual numbers, the forecast consensus, and how the impact that it has on the market, right? So as you can see, you can mainly focus on the ones that are high. So for example, today we got U.S. non-farm U.S. non-farm payrolls, and the forecast was 100,000, and we actually got 147,000. So it still shows strong resilience in the overall labor market, which is really strong, and we want to see that in the economy, right? Additionally, from that, we got U.S. unemployment rate actually came in lower than the forecast. And it's quite nice, and also lower than the previous, which is really good to see. We also got average hourly earnings month over month. We saw pretty much in line with expectations. We also got initial jobless claims for June here, and actually came in a little bit lower. So we're seeing a strong resilience in the labor market, and it's adding more to that confluence that we're now pricing in a little bit of a rate cut here over the upcoming July or even September. And like I said, you guys know that I've been really bullish on that thesis, and I firmly believe that the Fed has to cut rates at some point this year, at least one rate cut this year, due to the fact that we've been seeing that slower GDP and retail sales month over month and year over year. So we have to incentivize the economy slowly again, and I firmly believe that's what is going to happen there. We also got, for example, the 4-week average of U.S. jobless claims. The forecast wasn't really applicable, but we had a very high. For example, the consensus was 246, and we came in lower. So it's really nice to see, right? So all these numbers are very important, and that's why we include them here on the overall Uplift Markets newsletter, so you guys can understand what's moving the market and how it may impact it. The overall sentiment, right, it's been bullish. We're currently trading above all-time highs. The U.S. stocks have climbed today on Thursday amid growing optimism over trade agreements from Donald Trump and increasing signs of a strong labor market, like I said, both of which reinforce hopes for a Fed cut by July, right, and also by September. So if they don't cut by July, we'll see a rate cut by September here. And we see a little bit here the same sector performance. So we have information technology, energy, materials, consumer discretionary, outperforming for example, industrials, a little bit of financial, utilities, and healthcare. Quite surprising here. So it's still technology leading the way. We have here the overall advanced market indicators to kind of gauge as well how the overall market will be doing. So we have the SPY, and on the 5-minute chart, it was an absolutely amazing trade here. It's bullish, so it signifies still the strong momentum in the market. We also have Bitcoin, as you guys know. It's now trying to get above 110,000, and I'm still bullish on Bitcoin. I believe we have room to go towards 130,000 there on Bitcoin if we do see a break of this consolidation zone here that we've been kind of having some trouble there. And finally moving on towards the top 3 day trade-ups for the day. Number 1 came in as Amazon, as it's on watch after Truist Securities raised the price target on Amazon to $250 per share, maintaining a buy rating, and is anticipating Q2 revenue of $164 billion and 11% year-over-year increase. And yeah, it's been adding to my bullish case as well, and I firmly believe they'll be on the cloud, on the AWS. A lot of cloud names are coming in strong. There's a lot of cloud growth demand, and I'm really expecting a very nice report here on Amazon, here on their earnings that are coming up pretty soon, right? So we're almost near to that earnings season. Amazon here, we had our bullish case and our bearish case. So we like to, our entry was a break above $222.90. And if we zoom in on the 5-minute chart here, and let's take this out a little bit, kind of, analyze this here a little bit deeper, 220, 290. So around 2290, so right there. So around this break, that was a long, and let's say we are right breaking above that. We're seeing that strong momentum. We actually gapped up. We had support bounce back here at 221.50, which is quite nice to see. Our first price targets are going to be towards $224 even. Take some profit off that, and then second target is going to be towards 225, which looks like Amazon may not reach today. The market is going to close a little bit earlier, like I said, but it's quite nice to see that, that's what we give these price targets. We have one price target and two price targets, right? So we generally tend to give the benefit of the doubt to the buyers here once we are satisfied with the bullish case and we have pretty much that overextension. So for the bearish case, we said break below the $220 level. So let's see, below here, $220 level would instantiate the down momentum towards $219.50, so around somewhere around this low. And the next area would also be towards $218.50, which would be towards here, right? Amazon obviously did not have that, so we did not have the bearish case on that today. Satisfied, and we went long, which because it satisfied the bullish case, which is quite nice to see. Second on the day was actually Nvidia, and this one really was pretty profitable. The news here is that Nvidia is still leading the innovation. It's helping the U.S. maintain the top position in AI tech with 26 data centers, surpassing China and the European Union. So it just gives to show the overall strength and demand that Nvidia has seen, and it's still going to be continue to be seen here on the overall longer term. Our bullish case here for today was an entry above 159.20, and we actually had that break earlier, 159.20 right here. And let's say we're actually coming and confirming that. So let's go towards a 5-minute chart here of Nvidia based here. So yeah, 150 right here, 158.50. This break instantiated the long, and we had our price targets towards the pivot points here of 160, and as well we also tried to go maybe towards here, the previous pivot point of 162.19, but obviously the stock pulled back. It was quite overextended now. We also saw that it was approaching a key area of resistance, which has been the 160, and a very important psychological level. Previously, before that, it was a 150, but now it's the 160, and we have found that resistance there. So I put a VWAP here at this high to signify, the sellers have been, currently in control, so we're kind of pinching. There's some overall equality here, and what I'd like to see here, in order to continue the long setup here, would be, seeing some type of setup like this. So to continue the long entry, we have to see a break above that and a close like this. That would instantiate the long side. But now, if we do decline, I'd expect some support around this confluence zone here, right there, between the 159 and $158 level, because that's where the majority of the buyers came in. And we also like to give the benefit of the doubt here towards those buyers, because we are above the 50 MA, and just shows that strong resilience in the overall name. So this one was a really nice setup. We took it from here, and we took profit here when it fell below this prior area of support of 160.17, right, showing us that rejection of the overall price level there. We had a bearish case here, but obviously we did not have that, so we went long in the name. Apple as well, the tech giants showing strong momentum increase. We had entry above 213.50, which was around here, and we're seeing that strong upper momentum still continuation. And first targets towards 215, and second target towards 216.55. Firmly believe that Apple can do that. I mean, simply if you analyze this on an hourly chart, we're finding some resistance around here, but I believe that, if we do break above here, we can target towards this next area of resistance of 225 towards next week, right? So I'm looking really bullish on that. The bearish case would have been here if it would have broken today below $209. Target would have been towards 207 and 205, but thankfully that did not happen. So we were looking bullish on Apple, right? So pretty much we had 3 trades that were pretty much profitable and did happen. So it's very nice to see that these trades have been executing. And also something I really want to reiterate here is that it's, the newsletter is absolutely free, right? All you have to do is just put your overall email, and you get them straight to your inbox. You can access them before the market opens as well. So, it's a very nice instrument that I've developed, and that I also want you guys to use here which, you know, it's something I wish I would have had when I started out. And I think that, you know, being able to create this and provide it is just, you know, an amazing tool that, you know, I like I said, I've wished I had when I started, right? Because it pretty much sums up everything, right, for the ultimate best day trades here. So I'm really liking this. And you know, going back toward, let's say, the overall charts, you know, we have Nvidia being strong here at 1%, almost a little bit more than a 1.5% here towards the upside. Very, very strong. As you guys know, a name that has been also been popping up quite well today has been Datadog, and as you guys know, I've been really bullish on that name ever since a month ago. We actually posted a YouTube video where we went deep into the analysis and why we were looking long on Datadog. On the day today, Datadog is up 14% with an inclusion to the S&P 500, and like I said, this name has been really bullish because I really like their fundamentals. They're seeing intense cloud growth, and also what I really like is that the technicals are finally matching the fundamentals, right? So if you guys you know, take an analysis here, for example, if we pull up our analysis that we had on I think it was June 9th, if I'm not mistaken, here, I think it was right here. See if we pull it up. Let's see if we pull it up right here, right there. So this, like I said, was posted on 3 weeks ago. So it was posted on June 9th, and it gives our bullish case why we were looking extremely long on Datadog. So let's take a little closer look at our analysis and, you know, how it's happening right now. So let's take a little closer look here. Let's see. So we have that.
Is already here. Our AI-powered algorithm just detected a stock primed to explode, just like it did before Palantir and Nvidia broke out. And this isn't just a guess. It's based off of millions of real-time data points, trend structure, and price behavior that humans miss. The ticker, Datadog, and it's lighting up all the AI systems that we've built. This is how the 1% of traders are executing. If you want to know more, stick around. The model flagged Datadog based on the following criteria. There's been, number one, hidden but increasing since this low that the majority of stocks have made ever since we bounced, pretty much. So, factoring that into the equation and analyzing as well the earnings that were really positive, which would be on both EPS and revenue, we can plot an anchored VWAP from this low to measure the momentum of the buyers that came in. Put it as green, and as we can see, we held above it, pulled back, found buyers underneath it, and we have been nothing but increasing. We haven't touched it at all, signifying how strong the buyers have been since that low. All right, from that swing high, which initiated, like the candlestick, that initiated the downside move. So, plotting it as red, and as you can see, we are finding it right now. This is the setup that the AI has been implementing us and telling us about. This stock is bullish, like I said, for the following reasons. It's above the 50 and it's above its swing low, anchored VWAP, this green line. We would like to see for the entry of this stock, let's see some candles hold above this VWAP for a couple of days. And you may be asking why. Well, it would signify that the sellers aren't strong in several days. It shows that those sell $150 level because there is no prior resistance at all until that level. And we firmly believe that as AI adoption grows and Datadog increases the revenue, we will see a challenge of the all-time highs of 169, which is the...
Yeah, so pretty much to sum it up, we've been long this name ever since June 9th that we posted this. As you guys can see here on the overall date, June 9th. And to sum it up, we've been looking long at a break of around that area, targeting the price targets of $150. And if we see more bullish momentum towards the upside, it would be towards $170. So now going back to the present now, it's July 3rd, and seeing the stock on the 5-minute, it's been absolutely amazing. And looking at the daily, the conditions have completely satisfied, and we already got through one of our price targets. So it shows that these indicators do work, and that's why I want to reiterate here that the technicals are more important, I believe, than the overall news, because ultimately price is what pays, right? Price is the overall king, right? And like we said, around this area we were looking to be long Datadog, and we set a break of around 125 that would instantiate the long, and it's been nothing but increasing since then, and now we're seeing that upward momentum. So I believe Datadog still has some room to go towards the next price target of the highs of 170, around that area, and we're still remaining bullish on this name, and it's also looking extremely well because it's above the overall 9 EMA, so we're looking bullish on that. And also this intense volume that we're seeing is just confirming the overall momentum and thesis that we had I think like a month ago. So I'm really liking this name here on Datadog. Going back now to, let's see, the intradays, we have Hood here on the day, pretty weak. It's been, like I said, falling below the overall 50 EMA. It's been now showing some signs of rejection towards that price level there, and additionally it's also signifying that the sellers are fully in control. So we'll do this, signifying that overall control, and also we've below VWAP, so I'm not looking really bullish on this name. Tesla on the day, actually, it's been kind of ranging, and as you guys know, I'm not really looking to trade Tesla so far right now. It's not going to be within my top trades because we're seeing some type of consolidation. We're not seeing intense momentum neither towards the upside nor towards the downside. And if we look at a 1 hour, it's just kind of consolidating, right? So I'm not looking at all to be long in this name or honestly put any trades on this. Let's see, Intel on the day. Actually, Intel's been popping up for around 2 days now. Yesterday was also moving up. It was nice strong momentum actually. But a nice break here above the 50 EMA on the day. It's above the VWAP. Actually came back and tested VWAP, found that support. We can see that because we found buyers here. The buyers picked up the price. That's what this candle means. And we saw that nice upper momentum rejection above the VWAP here, and prompting towards a nice level of 2260. That's where we found that resistance. We're pulling back, and like we're finding support here at VWAP. So we have to see if we still continue towards upside, and if the EMA here, the 9 EMA, continues to hold here, which would signify the overall that the trend is still strong, and we should be looking for longs here. But with around 30 minutes on the day remaining, maybe we're not we won't have time. Maybe that's the max that'll go for today. Wolf research here. Wolf is actually pumping on the day, showing us volume. I'm actually looking to possibly enter a long position if it does break above the key level there of here 468. So this actually is now setting up for the long position. I have a very bullish case here. I believe the stock can achieve towards $7 easily, and towards challenge highs of $9. This name is kind of like the BBAI trade that we posted. Very, very bullish. It's now above this pretty much high that we formed previously. It's a 464 break. That's a long, showing intense upper momentum on the day. The volume is quite nice. It's 45 million shares done on the day, and yeah, this is honestly looking like a very good swing trade towards $7 and even towards the highs of $9 there. So we'll have to see how that trade develops. Looking now towards, let's say, BBAI. We were looking long here, and we actually posted the video, so feel free to watch that on the channel. We still have the price targets towards $10. You have the all-time highs. We're finding some resistance here at around $8, but I still believe in the name. We're holding quite strong above the 50, quite strong above the 9 EMA. So if you do retrace, I'll probably find some support here at around 660, around this overall zone. Like I said, around here we may find some more support where buyers may come in and allow us to see that curl and have that momentum towards the upside here. The next area of resistance where supply is located here around $10.31. Pretty amazing name here, to be honest. and it's been nothing but going towards upside. It's a little bit down on the day, kind of consolidating, but it's been having intense moves, right? If we look at the past days, it's been having nothing. For example, yesterday, very nice upward move there on the day. It was actually one of the most trending tickers that came up there, so I'm pretty proud of that name. Let's see, another one that came up was GITS. This one's been pretty weak. It's been rejecting the overall intraday VWAP here, 463. So yeah, pretty weak on the day. It's also below its 50-day 50 EMA here, so just gives to show the overall weakness. If you use pivot points, yeah, probably maybe some support may be found here towards the $2 level and 60 cents. We'll have to see how that works out. We have let's see, Cypher, pretty strong, I guess you could say. It's holding the 50 EMA quite strongly. It's holding also intraday VWAP, and we're seeing a little bit of rejection here at the pivot point. That was R2, so kind of signifying that it's been a little bit overextended, but I generally give the benefit of the doubt here towards the buyers. If we do manage to, I guess, break and we don't see buyers here at this location, then I feel like we may see some some support at this area here, this next R1, but we have to see pretty much what the buyers sell. Also volume has been declining, so we'll have to see how that works. Irene, actually, this one's been one of the top trending tickers. It was a nice movement at the beginning of the day. It broke above the pre-market high here of 1660, and actually pulled back towards the 9 EMA, found resistance, found some support, and we found now resistance at R3, signifying the overextension of the move, pulling back towards the 50. I'd like to see a hold here of the 50 EMA, and see some type of candle like this towards upside. Maybe put this as green. Let's see, green. Some type of candle like this towards upside that would show that we did find support at that area there on Irene Limited. Ticker IREN here on the 5-minute chart, so it's not bad. SoFi still strong on the day, trying to break the all-time highs and continuing towards the $24 level price target that we have there on SoFi. Really bullish on that name there. Let's see, Palantir kind of ranging, not really a lot to say here. It's yeah, pretty much ranging on the day, not looking too good, to be honest there. Not looking too good. SBET. Ooh, okay. She's declined quite strongly. There, found some support at this level. Once, twice, thrice, 4 times, and now it's bouncing. Retracement towards VWAP here, the intraday of around $12.93, signifying still strong momentum. So I'm really liking this name. We'll have to see if we do manage to break above, let's say 1320, around this 1321, get above this prior, see if this level does not act as a resistance. We'll have to see if this does break above this let's say pivot point here of $13.23, and we'd like to be long, targeting towards 1380 and 1443. We'll have to see what the stock does here. It is a Sharp Link Gaming. Actually, let's see what the catalyst is. Again, after expanding Ethereum Treasury Reserve. Interesting. Guess they're copying here what Tom Lee is doing. Well, I see there's a lot of reserves being built here. Quite nice to see that. We have MINM on the day. Pretty weak. Still seeing that rejection of the 50 MA. Comes to the 50, rallies, rejects, pulls to the 50, rejects again. So it's a very strong area here of dynamic resistance that's being formed here, around $3.31 on MINM. Looking at Mara on the day, pretty consolidative, although we can say it's weak because it fell below its 50-day moving average here. And let's see if we fix ourselves here. It's also below the intraday VWAP here of $17.82, signifying still solid momentum. That was some quite nice areas to go short here. We weren't really looking at this name, but right here and right here, some pretty nice areas to go short because we rallied towards VWAP. We found resistance once, right? Very strong selling, signifying that the sellers were coming into the name quite aggressively. We were rejecting that price, a lot of supply being added, and then we rallied up again, found support at the 50, and then we got towards the VWAP here, and we also saw that rejection again here towards the downside. So it just shows that VWAP is an important indicator because, like we said, it just gives the overall average price that the market participants entered. So if we have, on this case, a $17.82 anchored VWAP here, and we are at $17.62, then pretty much the average short participant that entered this name is winning money, and the average long is losing money. So it's something to, not just look at indicator and just, pretty much just, how do I say it, analyze it technically, but also know what it means, right? What does this indicator pretty much show of the market participants and overall psychology? So I'm really liking Mara as a short. Maybe we can find towards let's say decline here, find some support maybe towards intense candle that we had a lot of liquidity here, maybe towards 1745. We'll have to see. There's about 20 minutes left in the market today. Like I said, it's an early close, and tomorrow's a day off on the markets here with Independence Day. Let's see, we had, still this one's pretty weak, fell below the pre-market low. This $3 break found support at one of these pivot points, and we've been seeing now rallying towards that 50 EMA and finding again, like I said, some resistance at that 331 dynamic dollar level there. Looking at Rigetti, these quantum names are actually coming in play. They're they cool off, they come in with a lot of heat sometimes, but generally I'd say that this one is looking pretty good for a possible swing trade. I'm not going to lie. The technology isn't quite there yet, but we're getting pretty close. I'd say within the next 5 to 6 years, we'll see, the technology pick up. And who knows, maybe quantum may be the next thing, right? As we know, this bull market has been led by AI and Nvidia, AMD. This innovation here with LLMs, right? OpenAI, ChatGPT, Copilot, Gemini, right? All this has led the overall AI race. And that this overall market momentum ever since, I believe, I think it was August 2023. So we're almost around 2 years of this bull market. And who knows, this may be the next area that leads it, this quantum area. We'll have to see. Let's see. And lastly is Apple here with 26 million shares. It's quite strong. It went above the pre-market high. It actually came back and tested that level there, and forming confluence with intraday VWAP, which is right here, this green line here, formed that confluence with intraday VWAP, and we've been seeing nothing but support, and that would be our target there towards 214. We actually found some resistance there at this R1, $214.47. So it just shows pretty much the intensity that the sellers came in and added that supply here towards Apple right there, bringing it down, actually breaking below the 90 EMA for quite a while, right? We've been dipping, we go below the 90 EMA, strong trend, we go below, find support here at the 9, and we bring it up, right? But now we're actually failing, we're not seeing any support, so we'll probably see some support here on Apple towards this strong confluence zone, just forming the VWAP and the 50 EMA, this yellow line, they're all matching here, so we may find some support, some long opportunities here on Apple at 213.47 there. We'll have to see what the overall stock does there on the day. We'll have to see. But yeah, like I said, we've been following nothing but our overall trade signals, and pretty much the majority of them have been profitable. For example, if you look at the Uplift Markets newsletter here, like I said, we search up the rundown. So we search this by date, July 3rd. We have the overall rundown. For example, the overall macro news was kind of moving the markets. For example, kind of a little summary for you guys here, right? And looking at the economic numbers, that may affect the market. But going towards the gritty details, here we have the top 3 day trading setups for the day, and number 1 was Amazon with a bullish case entry above $222.90. Target towards 224 and 225. Nvidia, a strong leader, break above 159, target towards 160, and we actually reached that price target there. Second price target was 162, but looks like we got a little bit overextended. We rejected that, but it was quite nice to see that we had the ability to reach towards 160 right there. On Apple now, actually we saw the recent news, still seeing that bullish momentum after Jeffries upgraded the stock now to a hold with a target of $188, with strong iPhone sales to come in Q3, and also with the news that they're slowly starting to kind of integrate some type of AI into their overall phones. Here with a little bit of news maybe with Anthropic, right? We know they're not going to create their own AI. They've been behind on that. They're trying to use another type of AI, Anthropic, to train Siri and make it better. So I think that's very important, and it shows that Apple is seeing that they've been behind, and they're trying to catch up, right, with the overall likes of Meta and the majority of these companies that been trying to advance their overall AI. We've been seeing a lot of bonuses being paid, right? So there's a lot of drafting, I guess you can say, within the overall these tech companies, right? So it's quite nice to see that there's heavy investment, and Apple has over $100 billion in cash. They can easily spend that and development of a new type of AI model, and they're looking to train that with Anthropic here on Siri. Price targets here, we had a bullish case long here above $213.50, and our first price target is towards $215. Let's say we may reach that today. Second price target is towards $216.55, but most generally we tend to target heavy towards the first price target, because that's where most likely the supply may be found, the liquidity. And generally we also give a price target, the second one, because we sometimes do see those moves. It all depends on the volume and what the market wants to give us. But yeah, 215 may be achievable today here on Apple. Still got a while here before the close, but we have to see there. So yeah, pretty much using our entries and our day trades here, our setups, we were able to be profitable here on pretty much all three of them, right? We had a very nice Amazon trade, a very nice Nvidia trade, and a very nice Apple trade here. We're still holding our Apple position, trying to see if we can go towards 215 or around 214.80. We'd like to see that momentum shift, but we'll see what the market gives us there. So yeah, it's quite nice to see that. So yeah, feel free to subscribe to the Uplift Markets newsletter. You guys get this every single morning before the market opens, so you guys can have the full analysis, and it's something that I wish personally that I had when I started, and that's why I created this. So to help the majority of you guys that I know may be starting day trading or overall swing trading, right? But if you're more experienced, I believe you also get a lot of information and benefit from this newsletter. So feel free to do so. Link is in the description below. Quite simple. And now going back to the markets here, we're still seeing strong momentum, still above the 50 here on Apple. Like I said, I'll reiterate there that I'm looking possibly to buy here on 213 if we do fall a little bit lower. Going now towards overall triple Qs and seeing how the market is. We finally broke below the 9 EMA, showing some weakness here a little bit on the overall triple Q. I'm not saying that we're going to reverse or close red. I actually believe we're actually going to close positive on the day, but we're seeing now the momentum kind of die down a little bit. That intense momentum that we had at the open, that intense upper move here on the day, it was quite nice to see that we broke above the pre-market high here on the triple Qs. We had a nice gap up, closed above it. We actually came back and we tested the level to the penny. And something to note here is I really like when levels form confluence, right? When they match, I really like these levels because they give me more confidence in the trade. If we zoom in on the overall triple Q, we look at this, right? We broke above the pre-market high here. We came back and we had support exactly at that level, the pre-market high break, forming confluence with the 9 EMA, which is this yellow red line, right? So seeing this matchup of two levels, the pre-market high break and the 9 EMA, which we know is an area with a lot of support, and also shows a trend, we gave the benefit of the doubt to the buyers, and that was a pretty nice entry. As you can see, it was a nice trade right towards this area of resistance, R3, this pivot point, and that's where we actually kind of rejected. We're rejecting from that, but the market has been strong as we're also above the 50 MA. The buyers are in control of the trend, and like I said, right, it doesn't necessarily have to touch a resistance level. For example, it's marking here on the resistance $557. But see how we rejected before that, and like I said, it doesn't have to be a precise number. It's generally just an area in general, right? A general area where you may find some resistance, which I think is very important to note here, especially for beginner day traders that think that it has to reach exactly that point. It doesn't exactly does have to reach that point. It just have to be a general area where the market does add some supply and brings the price down lower. But we were actually lucky that for example, this area here was an exact entry right there, an exact retest, and also like the volume that came in, right? So having these important levels with confluence that match other indicators, and also having nice volume with it, just gives reiterates how strong of an entry or area is to enter the long there. And for example, if this would have been this area, but we would have had like a very small volume maybe around here, then maybe I wouldn't have entered yet. Would have liked to see maybe a little bit more, but just because we also were above the 50 MA, we had a strong volume candle print here at 640, then I was looking really bullish on the overall market, and just added to my overall trades, right? Giving me confidence in the overall market, right? Since we were majority trading Nvidia as well as Apple and a little bit of Google. So we're looking to trade those are listed on the NASDAQ, right? So looking at how the overall NASDAQ is doing in relation to the trades that we're looking to enter is important, right? If we see the overall bullish momentum also be in the triple Qs, then it also adds to our levels on individual stocks like Nvidia, Amazon, or Apple, right? And that's what we saw, and we are noticing, right, quite heavily here that the overall triple Q tends to mirror Nvidia, and except for this, now we're seeing that down rejection. Looks like we're not seeing support here. We'll have to see, but Nvidia did reject quite heavy off that 160, and that's what we got out around here at this break of this support, right? Like, why didn't we hold this area? And yeah, pretty strong down momentum. I don't like to fade the names. I like to be within the trend. Yeah, it's quite unlikely. I thought we were probably going to find some support there on Nvidia. And it looks like we're actually kind of falling now here. Quite weird. While the market is still making, still sustaining, right? So we'll have to see. Maybe we'll retest this pre-market high break. Maybe that's we may find some support there, or maybe this R1. So around this confluence zone, we may see a bounce right here. Looking to possibly enter on Nvidia, or probably just some profit taking, right? Here ahead of the overall long weekend that we have, right? Today the market closes early, and tomorrow Friday with Independence Day, the market is closed. We don't have any active trading overall. And maybe Bitcoin may see a rally right over the weekend. We'll have to see that nearing the $110,000 level there on Bitcoin. Also maybe some giving some back, right? Nvidia's been on a tear since the beginning of the week. It's been an absolutely amazing trade, and I think that now individuals are looking to take some profit ahead of the long weekend and just enjoy the overall profits that Nvidia has given them over the course of the week, right? So maybe that's what we're seeing right now, some profit taking a little bit deeper here on Nvidia. And 160 was a very important psychological level where obviously some supply was going to be encountered there. So not too surprised we're actually giving it back here, giving back some of the move there. So looking at Amazon as well, holding quite strong. This was a nice entry there. It pulled back exactly at the pre-market high break right there and formed confluence again, like I said, with the 50 MA. So this was a very strong entry, right? Could have entered there. Stop loss at the break of this low, $220.63. This overall entry was the entry. I was not how do you call it, I wasn't looking at this at the exact time that it happened. I was actually looking at Nvidia because I was trading that one. It was quite heavy and it was doing quite well, right, until it reversed. Now that we've seen that, right? But this trade was a nice trade that I missed. Honestly, I'm quite little bit angry with myself for missing this trade. It showed me, right, previously showed that this was some prior resistance. We came back and tested it and also formed confluence with the 50 MA, this yellow line that you guys see around this zone. And yeah, just kind of like pisses me off a little bit, seeing that missed opportunity there to enter on Amazon. And yeah, but I guess you can't have them all, right? We'll have to see. Yeah, and it's quite strong on the day, honestly. It's above the 50. It's above the VWAP intraday. So the general long participant is winning here on Amazon. Yeah, but like I said, feel free to drop down in the comment section below, or in the chat, any type of indicators or any questions you may have, or even tickers that you guys are trading and you guys would like me to kind of do a little of an overview, and mark some important support levels, important VWAP levels, so you guys can get maybe of additional information, maybe a different perspective on the overall trade you guys are looking at. Or if you're maybe looking for a swing trade, right, just feel free to drop that down in the comment section below and give it a like as well. So the YouTube algorithm recommends it to more traders, and we can grow this community to be profitable and have something great here for our future success here, of the profitability here of the overall markets. Look at this. I think we'll go full screen on this. Yeah, there we go. Full screen. And also as well, if you guys would like me to live stream a little bit earlier, give these key levels before the market opens, I'd be glad to do so. If you guys would like to, just give it a like. If you guys would like me to live stream at around, let's see, Eastern time, it'd be approximately around 8 a.m., around 5 Pacific Standard Time. I'd be absolutely happy to assist you guys with any questions you guys may have, or analyze some of the trending tickers, and also you guys can also know a little bit more on my levels, and I'll also get exposure to some more possible plays that you guys may have, and grow this together. So feel free to do that as well. But so far the market is bullish. I'm not expecting any negative news here to make us close red on the day. I think we are going to close green, and the options flow is matching that. We have a very high delta on some calls here of the overall triple Q, showing that we're not likely to close red here. So it's quite nice to see that strength in towards Independence Day there. Let's see overall triple Qs. Yeah, now we're pulling back pretty heavy. Okay, so now it's okay. So we're giving some back. Let me find support at this confluence zone, 50 MA and VWAP here. But we are pulling back, right? And like I said, we've this was a kind of like a a signal here to kind of reverse, maybe take some profits off if you've been looking long, because for the majority of the day, since the beginning of the day, we were actually bullish, right? We were holding above this 90 MA quite strongly, and every time we came back to it, we held it and found support. And until here at around I believe 925, we closed below, signifying a little bit of a loss. You have the buying momentum, right? Some buyers kind of taking a pause and allowing the supply to kick in, and that's what we saw. Strong downward decline. We may find some buyers here, but we'll have to see. And also a key area here of 555 with 50 cents, so we'll have to see there. Yeah, I would say we're finding some support there on the triple Qs. Right there. But yeah, overall, we'll leave it at that for today. If you guys also like this video, feel free to subscribe to the channel, give it a like, and also subscribe to the Uplift Markets newsletter. We provide those intraday setups and day trades with exact entry prices and exit points here for take profits. As always, I hope you guys like this video, and don't let the markets whip you guys out. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.